Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga with Rosie. My name is Rosie and today we're going to be doing bed yoga for our neck, shoulders and back. So I'm going to be showing you some simple movements just to find some rotation, some movement and hopefully ease some sort of pain or stiffness that you might be experiencing. So this is your practice, even though I'm the one leading today's class, so if there's anything that doesn't feel quite right, change it and do what feels best for you in your body. Now with that being said, I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable to do so. Otherwise, have a soft gaze. You can sit cross-legged or another way if that feels more comfortable to you. And we're just going to start off by breathing and connecting to our breath. So try to have a nice straight spine. Relax any tension in your shoulders and in your jaw. And just start to take deep inhales with long exhales. If you would like to do some Ujjayi breath and you know how to do that, go ahead and do that. For other people, maybe you want to sigh out your breaths with an audible sigh. So deep inhale, long exhale, deep inhale, sigh out. If that feels weird or you don't want to do that today, just try to lengthen your breath with your long inhales and long exhales. I like to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. But again, this is your practice, do what feels best for you. As we start to relax, let's maybe gently open our eyes and let's start with some movement. So the first thing I'd like to do is our neck, and then we're going to do our shoulders and our back, and then move into some kind of more bed poses. So the first thing we're going to do is just to move our neck from side to side. So look over your right shoulder. Try and go as far as you can without causing pain. Back to center and then over your left shoulder. Again, you want to push here, not too much. You don't want to cause yourself injury. Back to the right side. But really trying to get a good stretch back over to the left. And now you can do this at your own speed, in your own time. Bringing your chin to your right shoulder and then over to your left shoulder. Keeping your shoulders down. Keeping your spine straight. Let's do this several more times. Again, in your own time, at your own rhythm. Just looking from side to side. And back to center when you are even on both sides. So the next thing I'd like us to do is to look up and down. Again, you can do this at your own rhythm and your own pace. Just want to look up. And again, try and get the extreme and try and stretch the front of your neck here. Another option you can do is to hold your chest skin so that as you look up, it stretches your neck skin. And then look down. If you want a bigger stretch here, you can maybe bring one hand or both hands onto your head just for a bit more of a stretch. Looking back up again. And back down. Again, you can do this as fast or as slow as you like. If you want to stay in one position, you can do so. But just try to notice how your body feels. If there's any tension, if there's any stiffness or pain. We're going to try and alleviate some of that. Something I've just done now, which I'm going to explain to you in case you want to do as well, is to look down. So really tuck your chin in. You want a really good double chin here. Really tuck your chin. And then bring your chin over to your right shoulder and over to your left shoulder. And this should just stretch the back of your neck here. So really tucking your neck and then look over. It's not that you're turning your whole head. It's more just that your chin tilts towards the right shoulder, towards the left shoulder. This for me feels really good because I have quite a stiff neck at the moment. Again, if this isn't for you, do something else. This is your practice. And when we're ready, we're going to come back to neutral and we're going to stretch the sides of our necks. So if you bring your right ear towards your right shoulder stays down, you don't bring that up. And then bring your right hand up and over and bring your right hand onto the side where your left ear is. And ever so gently you want to pull, just kind of put some pressure on your head so that you feel a nice stretch down the left side of your neck. So again, nothing too extreme here. We're just gently pulling the head so that we feel a nice stretch along the neck here. So this time I'm not going from side to side, I'm just going to stay on the right hand side, well, bending my head over to the right hand side for maybe about a minute or so. Just getting that nice stretch. Gently come back to center. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So gently bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. That can be enough. Or bring your left hand up and over and hold on to your head by your right ear. Gently applying some pressure there to feel a nice stretch along your right side of your neck. Again, this isn't a movement from side to side, we're just going to stay here for around a minute, I guess. Trying to release any tension that you might have. And back to center. And then the last neck move, feeling some tingles, some what's the word, like little cracking. The last one I'd like to do is one that I learnt recently, and you almost look down towards your right armpit as if you're going to smell your armpit. Bring your right hand up and over and hold onto your head to bring your head closer to your armpit. So it's almost like you're smelling your armpit. So gently bring your head down and then gently hold onto your head and apply some pressure. And this you should feel around the back of your neck here, the top of your back. So really try and sniff your armpit. Again, this movement we're not doing from side to side. We're just going to hold it for about 30 seconds on each side. Gently come back up to neutral, and then we're going to do the opposite side. So look over to your left slightly, and as if you're about to smell your armpit, bend your head over and then have your left hand come up and just guide your head a little bit further. Feeling the stretch down the back, down the right hand side of the back of your neck. and back to center. So our necks should be nicely warmed up. We should feel more movement maybe and less tension in the neck. So now we're going to move on to our shoulders. So this is something you kind of freestyle if you want to, or you can follow me. We just want to do any kind of shoulder movement just to wake them up a little bit and just find some movement really. So the first thing I like to do is to start off by shrugging my shoulders. So bring your shoulders up, 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 up to your ears, and then pull them down. Really try and pull them down as far as you can. Let's do that again. Bring your shoulders up, 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 up. And then down. Really pulling your shoulders down here. Bring your shoulders up to your ears, shrug up. And bring them down. Let's that one more time. Shoulders up. And down. So we're going to start off with just some rotations. So if you bring your shoulders up to your ears, back, down and round to the front. So this is one way of doing it, keeping your arms kind of bent. The other option is to bring your arms onto your fingertips, onto your shoulders and find some movement here. You can kind of do what you want here just to make sure that you're rotating your shoulders, finding some movement and maybe releasing some tension. Maybe this is the first time you're moving your shoulders today. And then let's go forwards. And back to neutral. And now we're going to wake up our spine. So if we start off with some seated cat-cows, I'm just going to show you an angle how to do this one. So if you sit with your legs crossed, your hands come onto your knees. And what you want to do is to inhale, arch your back, look up and lift your chest all at the same time. And then exhale, round your spine, look down and exhale. So inhale, arch your spine, look up, chest is lifted. Exhale, round your spine, look down and exhale. Let's do this a few more times. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do this a couple more times on your own. And back to a neutral position. And we're going to do some rotations, some circles, and just maybe lean forwards. And then from here, slowly move over to the right hand side. So create some circles here, move to the back, the left, and then to the front. So that's the kind of the basis of this movement, just doing circles. However, you can do this as creatively or artistically as you would like. Maybe you want to start moving your shoulders. So when you come forwards, dip your right shoulder, lift your left shoulder. You can find some fluid movements here. Finding some expression. Do what feels good for you in this moment. So we're just going around in one circle, in one direction. And you can do this as fast or as slow as you like to. I like to go a bit slower so that I can really feel what my body is doing and really pay attention to myself basically. And then let's go in the opposite direction to what you were doing beforehand. Again, maybe you want to get your spine involved, your shoulders involved. Create some funky shapes. and back to center. So the last thing I'd like to do before we start moving on our beds is to do some twists. So for this, what I like to do is inhale, take a deep breath, lengthen your spine. Place your left hand on your right knee, your right hand comes behind you, and on the exhale, twist. Take an inhale here, and exhale back to center. So let's do the same on the left side. So inhale, right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind you, and twist on the exhale. Inhale, exhale back to center. So let's do that 2 more times. So inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale back to center. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale back to center. One more time. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale back to center. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale back to center. So we should be pretty warmed up. Our necks, our shoulders and our spines should be ready to move. So the first thing I'm going to do is move into a tabletop position. I'm actually just going to remove my shirt because I think it's going to get in the way otherwise. So first thing we're going to do is a tabletop position. So you bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And we're going to start off with some cat-cows. You want to start off with a neutral spine. I find neutral spine quite hard. I tend to do this and just collapse into it. But you really want to try and bring your spine as straight as you can. Even bring a hand up maybe just to make sure that your back is straight. From here, we're going to inhale, drop the belly, gaze comes up, chest rises as we inhale. Exhale, round your spine, look down and push through your shoulders, through your back. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, one more, inhale, exhale, and back to neutral. So from here we're going to do some flowing a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is to bring our toes together, bring your hips back and come into a child's pose. So head rests on the mat, arms come down. And then on the next inhale, raise up, press forwards. You want to move your hands forwards a little bit and come into a upward facing dog or cobra. And then flow back into a child's pose. So this flowing back and forth movement, we're going to do a couple of times on our own, in our own time, as fast or as slow as you want to, just to find some movement from, curving the spine, flexing the spine, and just finding some movement and some flow. Again, you can be as creative as you want to be, but just remember to go back into a child's pose, extend your arms, forehead comes down to the bed. And then as you come back up, lean forwards, keeping your chest lifted and coming up into a cobra. So we're going to go back and forth and do this for maybe about a minute or something on our own. If you would like to incorporate your breath as well, maybe with the inhales and the exhales with each movement, feel free to do so as well. In terms of the breath work, something I find good, so from child's pose, if you inhale, raise up, and then exhale as you go into your cobra, inhale as you come up, And then exhale as you go back down into the child's pose. This is quite a nice breathing routine and quite a nice way to flow through the movements. And coming back up to a tabletop position. The other thing we can do here is to create some circles. So maybe you want to lean forwards, lean over to the right, back, to the left and forwards. You might want to come onto your fists because we've been doing quite a bit of work on our wrists already, and also you might not want to lean all the way forwards on your wrist. So come up onto fists, keeping your thumb out of the way. This might be a good one to just find some movements going from side to side, maybe creating some circles, maybe involving the spine. One thing I do like to do is to create circles with my spine. So as if I'm drawing a big circle with my belly button. So dropping the belly to the left, up, to the right and down. And I'm going to do the opposite way. This is a really great spinal movement just for getting your spine a bit more flexible, releasing any tension and just finding some movement. Anything here is absolutely perfect. This is a bit of a freestyle session. So do what feels good for you. Maybe it's moving your hips from side to side, bringing your right shoulder to your right hip, left shoulder to your left hip. That can be quite a fun one, a bit of a waggle. Okay, and back to a tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our knees and come up into a plank position. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right foot to the middle of your hands, drop your back knee, and this is a low lunge. So from here you might want to press your hands onto your knee so that you come up into a lunge. It's a bit wobbly on a bed, but this I find stretches my hips and also my lower back here. So it's quite a nice one to kind of either pulse, forwards and backwards a little bit. Maybe you want to press your hands away and maybe stretch your lower back that way. And then from here, we press back into a runner's stretch. So it's a little bit of a leg stretch, this one. But your whole body is connected, so sometimes you feel back pain, maybe because you have tight hips or you have tight legs. Pressing back to a low lunge. So we're going to heel toe and wiggle your right foot behind your left wrist. Your right knee comes down and we're going to move into pigeon pose on the right side. So you can stay lifted if that's something you like to do. Otherwise, maybe come down onto your hands onto your forearms, or even down onto your forehead, onto the mat, onto the bed. So wherever you are today, we're just going to stay here for around 1 minute on this side. So make sure that you're not collapsing onto one side or the other. Make sure that your body is pretty central. You should be able to feel this stretch in your hip, in your right hip. If you want to close your eyes and relax here, you can do so. Otherwise, a soft gaze, focusing on your breathing. With the exhales, try to release any tension that you might feel in your right hip that we're stretching at the moment. And if pigeon pose is something that you're not comfortable doing, if you don't want to do that today, feel free to do something else such as child's pose or any of the yoga poses that you might know. And when we feel ready, we're going to press back up onto our hands, send the right leg back into a tabletop position, and maybe move your leg around to stretch out the hip that we've just stretched. We'll find some movement back and forth, some kicking motions. And let's move back into a plank pose. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your left foot in between your hands, back leg goes down, and again we can press up onto our left knee to bring ourselves up a little bit unsteady on the bed until we find some stillness. Again, you might want to pulse backwards and forwards just to stretch your hips here. You might want to press, you want to press your arms straight so that you arch your back slightly. Find a stretch here. Let's straighten that left leg into a runner's lunge. Remembering to breathe. Let's come back into a low lunge. Heel toe your left foot behind your right wrist. Your left knee comes down. And we're going to move into a pigeon on the left side. So again, if you want to stay lifted, you can do so. Otherwise, come down onto your hands, onto your forearms, or even bring your forehead down to the bed. Now again, we're going to stay here for about a minute or so. So make sure that your body is not collapsing onto one side or another. And try to release any tension that you might feel in your left hip. Maybe you want to close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. Otherwise, just have a soft gaze. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your body. Focus on yourself. both you're ready, we're going to press our hands back up, come back into a tabletop position and move your left leg around where we've just stretched the left hip. And back to a tabletop position. So the next movement I'd like to do is called thread the needle. And the way that we do this is that we start in a tabletop position. You extend your right arm up to the ceiling, and then you bring your right arm through between your left hand and your left knee, all the way through so that your shoulder comes down to the bed and your left arm can come up and over your body. And this is called thread the needle. This is a really great spinal twist and also a great shoulder opener. It's also good for balance when you're doing it on a bed. So we're going to stay here for just maybe 10 more seconds. Just feeling the stretch and remembering to breathe. Left hand comes back to the bed, press back up, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. So bring your left hand up to the ceiling and then thread your left hand through the right hand and the right knee until your shoulder comes down to the bed. You can stay here or you can bring your right hand up and over. And again, we'll stay here for about 10 seconds. Bringing your right hand back to the bed, pressing back up into a tabletop position, and that was thread the needle. So next one I'd like to try is a little bit different maybe for some of you, that we're going to lay down on our tummies and we're going to, how do I explain this? Okay, we're going to extend the left arm out to the left hand side. I'm going to have to face this way so I have enough space. So if you lay down on your tummy, maybe come up onto your forearms. Extend your left arm out by the side of you, and then you want to press onto your right hand and almost roll your body over to the left hand side. And you can bring your right knee up, maybe even join your hands at the back. I can't do that, but I know Jeremy, my husband, can do that. So this is a really, really great shoulder opener. So you're simply twisting as much as you can over to the right hand side. So you're stretching your left shoulder. Remembering to breathe, and let's do the opposite side. So roll back over onto your tummy, extend your right arm out into a T-shaped arm next to you, and then push on your left hand so that you roll over to the left hand side. Again, you can connect your arms if that's something you can do. Bend your left leg and open up your hips. And this is a really great shoulder stretch for the right shoulder. Again, we are remembering to breathe here. And when we're ready, we're going to roll back onto our tummies, press back up into a seated position, and work through the last couple of poses that we have left of this routine. So if we bring the soles of our feet together, we're going to move into Baddha Konasana, my favourite pose, I think. I do this in most of my classes. So you have three options here with Baddha Konasana. You can bring your hands behind you, puff up your chest, and arch your spine. The second option is to sit straight. And the third option, which is my favourite, is to lean forwards. So you might want to kind of move around a little bit, move some flesh away, and then lean forwards. You have two options again here. Something I like to do sometimes is to bring my elbows onto my knees and press my knees down as I lean forwards. This is a really great lower back stretch. The other option is to interlace your fingers underneath your toes and bring your forehead towards your toes. Now you don't want to super curve your spine. Try and keep your spine as straight as possible and just bring your face towards your feet, keeping your back straight. And again, this should be a nice hip stretch and a lovely lower back stretch as well. Remembering to breathe, releasing any tension that you might feel. And when we're ready, we're going to come back up to a neutral position, cross our legs and sit like this. Okay, so I have 3 more poses before we do Shavasana. Next one is bridge pose. So if you lay on your back with your knees bent, your feet are hips distance apart and your knees are hips distance apart, and you want to keep them this way. You don't want to bring them in together or bring them out to, wider. Keep your feet and your knees at hips distance apart. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears and bring your hands down by the side next to you. And what we're going to do is press through our feet and slowly lift our spine, our bottom, starting from the very base of your spine and curving up. So let's do that together. So start to curve your spine, slowly lifting the first couple of vertebrae, raising it up and up and up, and press up as high as you can. Let's stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, push, 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 3, push higher, 2, 1, and slowly come back down the same way that we came up. Let's bring our feet a tiny bit wider than hips distance and bring your knees in together. Now this just neutralizes the spine after doing the back bend, just so we don't cause any damage. Let's take some long breaths. And let's move into the next pose. Straighten your legs out. And we're going to bring your right knee up to your chest and hold onto your right knee with your left hand. We're going to cross your right knee over to the left hand side, and your right arm can stay out to the side in a T-shaped arm, and you can either look straight ahead or you can look over your right shoulder over to the right hand. This is called a supine twist, and this is a great twist for your spine. Creates mobility, flexibility, releases tension. So let's stay here for a couple more moments. Remembering to breathe. And back to center. Straighten your right leg down. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So bring your left knee into your chest. Hold onto your left knee with your right hand and cross your left knee over to the right hand side, and your left hand is out by the side of you, and you can either look straight forwards or you can look over to the left hand side for this supine twist. Keeping your shoulder blades on the bed, just twisting your spine. Focusing on your breathing. And back to center. Last pose before Shavasana is banana pose. If you haven't done this one before, stretch your arms out above your head, stretch your feet out, And we're going to bring your feet over to the right hand side, keeping your bottom and your spine where it is, and then bring your top of your body to the right hand side as well, so that you're creating a banana shape with your body. So your bottom, your glutes should be in the same places where they were when we were laying straight. It's your legs and the top of your body are twisting over to the right hand side. You should feel a nice stretch down the left hand side. Back to center. Let's do the same on the opposite side. So bring your legs to the left hand side, arms above head, and bring your top half of your body over to the left hand side as well, so that you feel a nice stretch down the right side of your body. Stretching your body here, finding a banana shape. Remembering to breathe. And when we're ready, back to neutral. And let's move into our Shavasana. So have your legs straight out in front of you. Your spine is flat against the bed. If you'd like to place a cushion under your head, you can do so, or maybe a blanket over your eyes, a blanket over your body to keep warm. Anything you want to do to feel more comfortable today, you can do that. You can either have your hands down by your side. I personally like to have my hands on my tummy. And slowly close your eyes, or just have a soft gaze in front of you. Let's take some breaths together. Long inhale, long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. One more time. Biggest inhale you've taken all day. Fill up your lungs, fill up your tummy, fill up your whole body, and exhale. Squeeze it all out, every last bit. Keep squeezing. And relax. So today we have done a lot of neck, shoulders and spine movements. I'm hoping this released some tension for you. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you found a new pose that you enjoy doing, or a new way of doing something. And yoga is a practice, so it's something that the more you do, the better you feel. It's not about becoming a professional or about becoming the best. It's just about doing something for you that makes you feel good. So with that being said, breathing normally, not particularly focusing on your breath, but if it helps you to relax, feel free to do so. I'm going to spend a couple of moments here in Shavasana, listening to some music, feeling the weight of our body on the bed, being held. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your ankles, relax your calves, your knees, your quads and your hamstrings. Relaxing your glutes, or your bum as I call it. Relaxing your hips. Relaxing your lower spine, middle spine, upper spine. Relaxing your shoulder blades and your shoulders. Relaxing your tummy and your chest. Relaxing your upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Relaxing your wrists, your hands and your fingers. Relaxing your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes, your eyebrows, your nose, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing your whole body. We're going to stay here for a couple of moments. Slowly coming back to the present moment. Maybe start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Reach your hands above your head for a big stretch. Full body stretch, your fingers all the way down to your toes. Maybe yawn, sorry about that. And make your way to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. I really hope you enjoyed this class for our neck, shoulders and back. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up down below. That really helps me out. Please do subscribe for more yoga videos. I will leave my playlist down below, but I post yoga videos most Mondays. And I will hopefully see you back here very soon for another yoga class. Bye. Namaste.